How about now?
No, you sound good to me.
Okay, good.
Yep, you sound good. Well, welcome back to the Backcountry PA podcast. You got myself, Cody.
And myself, Ethan.
Yes.
Oh, that is. Let me.
Good to have you back, buddy.
Oh, I'm here. I'm
You
alive.
took a week off?
I took. Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
It was nice to not. You picked a very good week to not do an episode.
Why?
Because I died. I was dying. That's
so.
It was like you did this on purpose. You got me sick, and then you're like, "No, we're not."
I didn't
doing
get
an
you
episode.
sick.
Yeah.
Did I?
I don't know. I don't. That's the thing. I don't know how I got sick.
Well, dude, I told you because the same day you texted me, I said I got this random ass sickness where like I was just driving, I was fine in the morning, and then all of a sudden like at like 10 o'clock I started getting like I got extreme aches, like my joints hurt, and then like I got extreme chills.
Yeah.
Like I was like at night, like Jess and I didn't sleep in the same bed because it was like I don't want to get her sick and all that kind of stuff. So like right before bed I'm like not for no like I'm literally just shaking because I'm cold.
Yep.
Like it was like
Yep.
what? And then but the next day I was gone. It was done. Like I took off work obviously, but like it was done. Like I didn't have sniffling, I didn't have a cough, I didn't have like I had an extreme headache, I had aches and I had chills. And then I threw up. Because I was just because it was like I was shaking so much that I didn't have enough intake for food wise. Mm-hmm. So like I made myself throw up because I was like, this is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Must be nice. I was out since Tuesday. Still not 100%. I'm still coughing and
Right.
I mean, it's just like the sign effects.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, Tuesday night, dude. I went to work. I was like, I woke up, freaking puked. Sorry, listeners. And I'm thinking, and I'm like, all right, I feel better. You know when you do that and you feel better? You're like, nah, that's all I needed. I'm good to go.
Yep.
Right?
Puke and rally.
Because I'm thinking, dude, my nose is stuffy. I drained.
If you didn't work, you need some whiskey. That's what you need.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good to go.
Yep.
No. I got to work. I was sitting there, and I'm like, I looked at my right-hand man, and I said, dude, I'm not making it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I looked, even the lady that was working across from me, she looks at you, she goes, oh, you look like shit. I was like, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
Went home, and dude, I was done for the whole week.
Man.
And then
That sucks.
it felt like someone took a baseball bat to my whole body. I was done. I was like, yeah, this sucks. I don't know. Because I'm like, all right, what happened? Did I get it from the outdoor show? And I'm like, no. I said that was too long of a gap.
But it could have been like a delayed thing.
Did I get it from the birthday party? All those snot-nosed children that are running around.
This is the thing, like Matt's kids and Matt himself and like Cassie, like, well, most of the kids, they're always sick.
Right.
Always sick. And like it doesn't matter.
And was I playing with them? Yes.
Yeah, we were playing Keepy Uppy.
Keepy Uppy.
It was intense.
That was a crazy
intense game. I sweated. I actually hit my head on the post.
Did you? I started to sweat a little. Got a little out of breath.
Yeah.
Whew, I was like, oh, I am not
good
in
exercise.
shape. But I'll tell you what, though. Kind of bring this back to the podcast topic here. I ended up losing like 8 pounds being sick, right?
Yep.
So I was like, oh, man, like I'm down this great weight loss program. Just let me get sick once a year, done, lose some weight. Or life
Jenny
is,
Craig.
Right?
Or I don't know if that's...
Jenny Craig.
Is that her name?
Janet. Yeah, Jenny Craig.
Yeah.
One of them. I don't know.
Martha Stewart. I don't know. One of them.
I don't know. But I was like, oh, this is great because I remember texting you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, I lost. I'm like, cool. If I lost and kept this weight off, that'd be great. And I know I complained like in the season. I was like, dude, I'm out of shape.
Yep.
100% whole nine. And then you text me and we're like, hey, how about we do a little challenge just between you and I doing like the basics.
Just basics.
Quote unquote working out. Push-ups, sit-ups, squats. Done. And we do it every month and we just I was like, all right, no problem. So I did it for this whole week. And I added...
Did you do yours today?
I did do mine today.
Oh, fuck, I got it.
Yeah, you gotta do yours. Yeah, do it live right now on the podcast. Do your stuff. Now here's the thing. As you're doing your push-ups, when I can't do that just like cold turkey. Yeah. Because my muscles will just cramp up and die. So I added stretching.
Okay.
Before I do that, because I am not flexible to save my life. I'm not. So I get a really good stretch in, and then I do the push-ups, sit-ups, and squats.
Yeah.
Right? Now, how wide do you do your... Okay, so I'm not the only one. I tried to do, like, closer, like, straight up and down. No, I, like, fall forward. And it doesn't work. So I started doing it. I was like, man, like, I'm feeling better. I have not gained those 8 pounds back.
It's good.
Even though I've been eating. Well,
you're trying to... You also, because I imagine that week you didn't really eat much.
Oh, that week I ate 3 little cups of applesauce.
Yeah.
For that whole week.
Yep.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even because I had an upset stomach. It was just I didn't want to eat.
Yeah.
So now I'm working out. Now it's like starting to get ready for the season. So I'm in better shape because we know, like, we walk. Mm-hmm. We walk the mountains. Mm-hmm. And it's like I can't be out of shape for this kind of stuff. So it's good that I'm starting now. It's simple, it's basic, but it's necessary.
Yeah. No, I'm... So, it was... When was that? That was Saturday. Like, for my thing for getting ready for the season, right after the season, I was like... Took a little break, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I talked to my wife, and I was like, listen, like... I don't need to go out every single weekend, but I like to go at least one serious... trip a month. Mm-hmm. So like one day out of the month, I like to like have like almost an all day thing. Like I'm just like out scouting. So the first one was this past Saturday, which would have been right now we're recording this February 20th. So that would have been the 18th. No, that would have been 15th. February 15th.
Yeah.
So after Valentine's Day.
Yep.
So I went out and you talk about walking. So you know where I scout. Mm-hmm. You know how to get in there.
Yep.
So when you get to the top of the hill, there's a gate, right? But the gate has always been open to go down the hill then and park in that big parking lot. Mm. The gate was closed this time. And I got there and I was like, oh. No. So what do I got to do? So there was two things going on in my head. I was like, okay, I can turn around, go home, save it for another day.
Right.
There was a lot more snow there and it was crunchy and, and I was like, I had the one thing, like we're not sponsored by either of these companies. So this I got at the outdoor show.
Okay.
You weren't there for this day. It was one of the times we wanted to stop at.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like they had any there.
Yeah.
Went back there on Sunday and they did have this and I put it on and I freaking love it. And I was like, I wonder how it'll do in this cold. So it was like on Saturday, it was 28 degrees with like 15 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour wind. Yeah. Like gusts. And it was cold. So I had this on, which it doesn't look heavy at all.
It really doesn't.
It's very thin. And then I had my it was a waffle. It wasn't a waffle shirt per se, but it was from Spica Gear. Mm-hmm. It was a quarter zip waffle stuff.
Okay.
So and then I had my fingerless gloves on, had my backcountry beanie on, and I went out and I had a long sleeve. It's called 32 degrees. You can buy it at Costco. I think it was where Jess got it for me. You can buy. It was like a 32 degrees. It's very thin. Like it's not thick at all, but like it combats moisture and all that kind of stuff. Like keeps in whatever. So I had the leggings on. And I had the top on like that, and then I had my black Ovis pants on that are like a little insulated also. And I had just regular wool socks on. And, dude, I was walking, I was like, the wind was not cutting through this at all.
Yeah.
Like, I actually felt fine, like, just walking. Like, I didn't get cold at all. Like, my face was cold because the wind was hitting me right in the face, like, on this side.
Yep.
So I got out, and I started walking, and I ended up walking like almost like I didn't track till I got to the bottom and it said 8 from the bottom the whole way back to the truck again.
Oh, wow.
But so I'm guessing it was like 10 or 11 miles in total I walked, but I had to walk almost an extra 4 miles to get to where I wanted to go to check my cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also like the funny part was like I had to cross a a pretty wide, I would say a river almost.
Oh.
And I didn't have, like, all I had on my Sketcher boots.
Oh, yeah.
So then they're not high.
Nope.
But yet the water was frozen. But in some spots it was not frozen. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not good with this ice stuff of, like, which one is, like...
What's good and what's not.
And granted, at this point when I'm going across this, I'm 3 miles away from the truck. So I'm like, if I fall in, I'm soaked.
Yep.
It's going to take me a long time to get back to the truck. Right?
Frozen.
Right. I might get hypothermia or, like, pass out by the time I don't get back. Because it's pretty deep there.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm like, man, I made it this far. Like, I got to get... It's like, I'm looking across. I'm like, as if I can make it across right here, I'm right in line with where I have to go.
Yeah.
So I, like, find this spot that looked extremely thick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm like... I took my backpack off with my stick, and I'm, like, hitting it on the ice, like, okay, it's not going to break with that.
Yeah.
So, like, I had the GoPro going. I deleted all the videos now because I only picked out what I wanted. Mm-hmm. But, like, I had the GoPro on my chest, like, between my binder harness.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if I fall, I want it to be at least be recorded. Like, because I need to...
When they find my body...
When they find it.
They can watch
this
this
film.
film.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
But, like, then I'd do, like, the whole, like... I, like, ski across.
Yep. Oh, that would have been a sight.
I don't walk. I just ski across.
Oh, you should have kept that.
Yeah, I should have.
Put that one out.
I should have.
How to cross rivers 101.
Well, first there was, like, this what looked like a little beaver, like a very small beaver dam, but there was tree, like, bushes type things growing out of it, and I was like, okay, well, at least looks like solid ground right there. So I was going to try and cross right there.
Right.
And I, like, stepped on the one, and, like, my foot kind of, like, went through a little bit. And I'm like, yep, I'm not going to even try that. Because, like, you'd have to, like, walk between the bush, get around it, and then hold on. Like,
oh, yeah, no.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to, like, but it just looked thicker down here, so I'm going to try and do that.
Good idea.
And it worked. And I was like, thank goodness I had OnX recording at that time. Because, like, I knew, like, when I came off the mountain of where I had to cross again to go to the same exact spot. But it was kind of cool because, like, I never was at the bottom of where I crossed at.
Yeah.
And, like, the amount of beaver sign, dude, I never saw so much beaver, like, the trees being gnawed down, all that kind of stuff. Like, and you could see where the beavers come out, too, which I thought was pretty cool because it was all ice.
Yeah.
And then you have just a hole. And you could tell, like, you could
see the runs.
Well, not necessarily runs, but, like, well... I don't know the correct terminology, but
beaver run.
Beaver runs, I guess.
Like your trail essentially coming in out of the water.
But you couldn't really see it, like, because there was snow on the ground still, so I didn't see any tracks or anything like that.
Yeah.
But, like, you could see, like, there was a hole. Like, I would say it was like a hole the size of this table. For people listening, I guess that's terrible podcasting. But it's I would say 3x4 maybe, a 3 foot by 4 foot hole that they were coming out of. And, like, there was multiple of them. And then outside of that, there was, like, trees being gnawed and they were falling down. Like, it was, like, cool to see that. I was like, because up in Clinton County, they talk about beaver dams. I'm like, I never once saw a beaver dam. Or even, like, really serious gnawing.
I've seen one there was one tree chewed, like, at the bridge where we fish.
Yep.
There's no dam there.
Right.
But I've seen, it's like, well, beaver was here. Mm-hmm. And you can see it's not the whole way through because the tree's still standing.
Yeah.
And I was like, where the hell did you come from?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
But it was cool to see it because, like, it was nonstop and then big ass rubs too. And then, like, it was cool. It was, like, I think the coolest part about this time frame in scouting, you really have to use your woodsmanship. Like, especially when there's a sheet of, like, snow ice on the ground.
Yeah.
You can see tracks, like deer are making tracks. But yet, you have to be like, okay, is that a buck or a doe? And then you start looking at it, it's like, okay, that's a big track, right? And then, but you can see, like, the little drags and then all that kind of stuff. And then also, like, you kind of start putting these pieces together, like, you look at this rub, and then you mark it on OnX, and you find another big rub. And then you look back on OnX and be like, oh, they're in line. They're running right along this, and it's like, it makes so much sense, like, because outside of this pine thicket, it's wide ass open.
Yeah.
Like, wide ass open. It's like
like rifle spot wide open?
Yeah, easily. Like when we first started the podcast, it's like that would be the spot that we set up because you can see like 500 fucking yards.
Yeah.
Right? But like inside the pine thicket about, I wouldn't even say 100 yards. It's maybe like 25 to 50 yards inside, that's where you see all these big rubs and like the whip rubs and all this kind of stuff, like walking right along there, like, and you can't see really far out there because when you get out to the open, it's like goes up a hill a little bit. So like you would see their legs walking, and that's it.
And that's all you'd see. Yeah.
And you'd have to really, really focus to see that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is good information.
It's like perfect.
Yeah. And also it's like I didn't see a single sign of a human
Yeah.
at all because I was so far in, and with how far I had to walk to begin with, park my truck at the hill, to walk down a hill, to walk up another hill.
Yeah.
Well, a hill mountain.
Yeah, so that's a mountain at that point.
Yeah. Let me tell you, walking back out was a bitch. Walking
Really?
back out was the bitch because you get to like, it's almost, I was walking at a good angle. I was like, oh, if I keep walking at this angle, I'll be right up on top again, right?
Yeah.
That's right to an extent, but like it wasn't that easy. So like it was like, I was like, man, these in my head, I'm talking to myself obviously because like there's no other sign of human, not even on the main trail right there. There was no sign, like there was no bike marks, there was no foot marks, there was nothing. Like it was just me in the middle of nowhere.
Me and my thoughts.
Me and my thoughts. And like I'm walking, I'm like, man, these mountains are nothing like Clinton County, like nothing.
Yeah.
And then like I jinx it because then I get to almost to the top, and I'm like.
Yep, you're breathing heavy. You're like, oh, this
sucks.
sucks.
I'm like, if I get to that tree right there, I'll take another break. And I don't even make it to that tree. And I just like stop. I'm like, my legs are burning. Legs are burning.
Yep.
And the funny, I don't know if you do this too, but like when you're walking out, like if say like you're scouting or something like that, if you're walking out, like I try and be like, okay, if I get to this spot by this time, I'll be making good time. And then like you get that spot and you look at your watch or you look at your phone, it's like, oh my gosh, I beat the time.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever do that?
It depends if I have like a schedule.
Right.
If I'm just kind of like nonchalant, like walking through, I don't do that. But if it's like, oh, I need to be out by this time, I'm like, okay, it took me about this long to get in. So if I leave a little sooner, I should be fine. And let me get to here. And you constantly checking your phone to make sure I'm like, dude, if I would just freaking walk and get to where I need to be, I don't have to be looking at my phone all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, if I don't have a schedule, it's like,
because I wanted to make it home for dinner. So like I was like, okay, I got to get here by this time because I knew I had a longer walk in, so that means I had a longer walk out. On top of that, so it's like originally I was like, oh, I shouldn't be any longer than 2:30, 3 o'clock, right? Because I can get in real easy, get some good scouting in, and check the cameras at the same time.
Yeah.
But now it's like you got to put extra 3.5, 4 miles in to get even close to where I wanted to go. So, yeah, that was my eventfulness. And I took the GoPro with me, recorded. Great intel. Unfortunately, not all the pictures saved to my phone. So that, looking back, I should have just replaced the SD cards because I had 4 other cameras with me. I should have just taken the SD cards out of them and put them in the ones.
Yeah.
All the batteries were good, dude. I
Used
used alkaline battery. Amazon alkaline basic batteries, and they lasted from when I put them in there in July, June timeframe.
Yeah.
To the hardest part of winter in February right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they lasted through that single digits.
And we had quite a few of those.
So and they were still taking pictures.
Good.
I walked in front of them. I saw 3 deer at least. Saw a porcupine, which is pretty cool.
You and that porcupine, dude.
Yep.
You had them up at the cabin.
This one was pretty cool. It was an all black one with like white tips. Ooh. I don't know if that's usual. I don't know if that's like the usual color of them or what.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know.
That's
but like the one up at your cabin was like more brownish.
Right.
With like black tips or like white tips. This one was like black.
With white tips.
Yeah, and I was maybe cool. It was kind of funny watching him walk down the hill. Yeah. Because like he couldn't, like it was if you didn't have some weight to you, like I do, like 190 pounds of weight. If you don't have 190 pounds of weight, it's like you almost like don't break through the ice.
You're just like sliding down.
Yeah. So this porcupine, I'm like watching him, and like he's like trying to get away from me really quickly.
Yeah.
But he's like sliding down the hill at the same time. Like
he's like, oh shit.
Like you can hear his claws like. He's like trying to turn at the same time. Like,
I'm like, buddy, take your time.
I did record that too. I don't know why I didn't say that. I just felt like it wasn't important.
It's all important,
I know.
man.
I know.
It's all important.
But no, all in all, he is alive. Very impressed with how many daylight pictures I have of him, to be honest.
Yep.
I have them all saved. It's really, really, really good intel for him. And there's another buck that I'm actually very interested in. He's a very old one. I didn't show you him.
Okay.
He has a broken rack on the one side.
Ooh.
And he has a kicker, put it that way.
Okay.
He has his G2 coming up, and he has like a kicker coming straight out. But he's
cool.
He's like super wide,
Yeah.
and he looks like really old.
Yeah.
Like really old.
Ooh.
Really old. And he daylights too.
Does he?
Which is weird. Like I have these buck daylighting.
Yeah.
I think we'll get daylighting during rifle season.
Yeah, because that's the first, like, when you sent me the pictures, the first thing I did was look at the date. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, cool, daylight, freaking awesome.
Yep.
What's the date?
Yep.
And I looked at it, and I was like, oh. My first thought was like, he's alive. Like, I didn't know, I'm like, he's alive, he survived.
So he's alive as of the 13th of December. But if he made it that far, he's alive.
Yeah, I can't imagine too many people
right
late season hunt in general.
Well, no, because it was so I tried going out there, remember, and like I couldn't make up the hill. So like
people ain't going out there.
Yeah, no one's going to go back in. And then like I did have a few people on camera near where he was actually opening weekender rifle, and then he was there the next weekend, and it was like
he just went and hid.
Yeah,
and then
he just
came
knows
back
where to
later.
go.
Yeah,
and I think I know. Excuse me, because you, like I said, you're in the woods by yourself. You start making hypotheses about things.
Yeah.
Like I was like looking at this one thicket. I'm like, if I'm a buck, why would I not bet in there?
Yeah.
Like you're so close to people where people walk, all that kind of stuff. Like, why would I not? Why would you not bet in there? Like when.
Yeah.
It's so overlooked. Mm-hmm. Like why would you not?
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for them not. Like it's. I don't know. Like, and then like I had one. So I had one camera on a rope scrape. Like it wasn't even a scrape. It was just, I just literally, there was two trails. One was coming up the mountain. One was walking along the mountain towards an oak flat. And the other trail was coming up from another flat. So like they come to one trail then. So I was like, oh, I'll hang it here.
Right.
I hung the rope there. No scrape, just hung it there. And I walked there and the rope was down when I got there. I was like, oh, someone ripped it down. I was like, who's the... right away in my head, I'm like, there was either a person ripped it down or there was a big buck that came by and ripped it down.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was a very small buck that ripped it down.
The little guy was pissed off. He was like,
I wish I had my camera on video mode at that point because you could tell like he was spooked when it happened.
Yeah.
Because like I guess he probably put his mouth around it and pulled it. But then like you can see the next picture of like him like jumping back like this.
Like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, what is that? But then, I have just... So, no deer really hit that rope. Some does hit it, but none of the big bucks stopped and, like, cared.
Yeah, just kind of walked by it.
Because it was on the main trail. Anyway.
They probably just get a whiff as they're walking by and just... Nothing I need to concern myself with right now.
But there was one, and I remember looking at it on my phone. Excuse me.
I thought that was me for a second.
There was a really, really nice buck that was on camera. And right away when I saw him, I was like, fuck. Like
one of them.
Yeah, like one of those make your head spin kind of buck.
Like, oh, shit.
And he was a regular buck. Like he wasn't like anything like he wasn't a non-typical. He was just a typical buck, right?
Yeah.
But he looked like a mule deer. Like
really?
He had a massive rack. Like it was insane. Like I knew there was going to be. I've heard that there was going to be big buck around on this piece that I hunt.
Yeah.
But I didn't think like there'd be this many really nice buck in this area. I mean, even the one I shot this year was really nice. I don't know, dude. Like I have more buck on camera than doe.
Yeah.
And even daylighting. I just think there's not a lot of pressure.
It can't be.
I
To
just
have that many. Like, if there was one.
right,
Just one.
Right.
If it was just him.
yep, and just like little
Another
bucks.
thing,
you
then
know.
be like, okay, yeah, there's probably quite a handful of people that hunt this area.
Yep.
Right? But to have multiple,
yeah,
it's like, there's either if there is quite a handful of people that hunt, they hunt the same spots.
that's what I'm thinking.
They don't venture out anywhere.
Yep.
So I think if you get to those spots, which I know you will, those people aren't, you're going to see that success with those caliber of buck, 100%. And I guarantee you, next year you shoot him. We'll just call him him. Okay. Next year you shoot him.
Okay. I do have very high confidence. I think I texted.
Yeah.
I think I texted Nick and Alex, and I was like, "This buck is killable."
Yeah. Like
with that, I just got chills right now.
The data that you have been collecting via trail cameras, via boots on the ground, the history and the knowledge that you're gaining with the area, 100% killable next year, right? But you're gonna get this buck, and I guarantee you, dude, your messages, I guarantee you, there's quite a few people that know about him.
Oh yeah,
quite a few, not the ones that you showed. Like, obviously, I know about him.
Yeah.
But like, I'm talking just people that you don't even know exist. They know about this buck, and they're going to be like, "You son of a bitch!"
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So I went back to look for the buck that I shot that couldn't recover. Went back there, and I sent you the picture. Obviously,
right.
I didn't find anything. Nothing else. Like, there was nothing.
No.
Like, you didn't see bones. You didn't see anything being drug out by coyotes. And I know there's a bunch of coyotes, and I have a few bobcats on camera too. So like, there's nothing up there. I think he made it. I have this gut feeling that he made it. And that picture I sent you,
I think that's him,
dude.
I don't like, because that would be the exit hole,
right? But this is my thought is, I don't know if the broadhead expanded or not.
Yeah, but but that exit though, that would even expand it or not, that's still guts, right?
Yeah, I mean, but with the angle, like when we talked about it, when I was going through it, like when you're sitting there, when you watch the arrow go through, and you think, in my mind, I'm eye level with this buck, right? In my mind. But then you think back, look at it, like I'm about 2 feet higher than this buck still, so like I'm at an angle like this right here, where I'm still shooting down to him.
So you could have hit him.
I could have hit him. I could have hit him in the top of the liver,
and it went over top of
Yeah.
everything. And the way it came out,
he might not even hit gut because it's just how it went down. Like, it could have been like, but his rack looks similar, his body size looks similar, and where that is very, very, very close. I would say 99% close to where I shot.
Same spot. I hope you get another picture of him going the other direction so you can see if there's an entrance. But the problem is, like, outside of that, I mean, unless you see a hole or what used to be a hole, there's not really any other physical characteristics on that deer to be like, oh, that's him.
No, he just looks like an average 8-point. Like, I wouldn't say average, but he looks like the typical 8-point mountain buck, big body buck that, 3.5-year-old, 4.5-year-old, probably 4.5, because I shot a 3.5-year-old this year.
Yeah.
I'd say he was probably 4.5.
Because once he sheds,
he's
just going to look like a big old deer.
Yep. And I did have one on camera that I knew was a buck that shed, and I was like, I feel like that's that big buck.
Yeah.
I feel like that's him, because I feel like with his caliber, he probably sheds early, because you got to grow a long time to get that.
Yeah.
I mean,
you going to go back into shed hunt for sure?
Well, not shed hunt,
but just scout.
Just scout,
because if you stumble across something, then it just, oh, here we go.
So I know we have other articles to talk about, we have other things to talk about too, but like,
true. Well, we got time.
Yeah. Bless you.
No, it was like
a
cough
okay.
Weird. Yeah,
okay.
Sorry, folks. I've been having just a cough because it's like a tickle that refuses to go away.
So we're going into this area. I never really planned on hunting it at all. Like, I think I talked about that before, but like, I never planned on hunting it, never planned on doing anything with it, just letting it soak all year, then checking it at the end of the year.
Yep.
being the amount of intel that I got just from this first year of running cameras and just boots on the ground, like you said, I can really like break down this area now. So like I spent so much time in the main area where I have my cameras at, but then where I shot my buck at, like those buck were on camera 2 miles away from where I shot him, and then I have the bachelor group on camera hitting a scrape that's even down below from where I had him in November.
Yeah.
And I have him in the middle running through on camera when I jumped him the first time. So like I have this area that I want to check out because like I have this first area, right? I made a little square on X of like, okay, I want to check this area out right here. It goes from where I think they were bedding to stuff I found during that first Saturday, the second Saturday at rifle, and then where I shot my buck at. Like it's an 80 yard, maybe 100 yard square area that I want to check. So like I can, if I get a full scouting trip of that, I can go zigzag all through that and literally mark down everything, right? So then I have that. That's one day.
Yeah.
And then where I have my other camera at, where I have that older buck at, the half rack buck, have him and a few other buck at, I have a square, like probably another 100 square of that. That's another day. So like it makes me less stressed because like when you look at the big woods, it's like, where do you start, right?
Oh, I get that all the time.
Like you look at it and it's like, I don't know where to start right now. Like this looks like, it's a thermal hub, right? You can start there. You might find something. You hang a camera, but you don't know if you're going to get anything all year.
Yeah.
Like my first year, I got, I would say at least 8 shooter bucks.
Yeah.
The first year.
Information overload.
Yeah, exactly.
In a good way.
Yeah. Because now I'm making files.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, you're turning into one of those. You're going to be writing Excel spreadsheets now. You're going to be that guy.
But like if you get a caliber buck like I got on camera, I think you would do the same thing, right? Like especially if you got multiple, like if it was just one random picture, it'd be like, okay, like you'd be trying to find him again.
Yeah.
But being that I'm in his home range,
you're like he's here.
Right. There's no way he's not.
Yeah.
That's not his home range. With how many pictures I have him. And the time frames that I have him on picture. Yeah. There's no way. And if someone else kills him, like that's hunting, right? It's going to suck. Yeah. It's going to royally suck.
Yep.
But my hope is that if someone shoots him, I can at least put my hands on him. Be like,
can I just hold the rifle?
Yeah. Like this is a once in a lifetime buck.
Yep.
Like, and I don't want to go into the next season thinking about it like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go and be like, I'm chasing after a once in a lifetime buck. It's a very nice buck, but yet that's not what it's all about.
Right.
Like you don't want to just focus in on one buck and then be like, have multiple shooters walk by you. Cause like you have multiple shooters. It's like, you can't, like if I shoot another really nice buck next year and I don't get to shoot him and he makes it through, that's great. Cause then I get to chase him again.
Yeah.
Like I will shoot. I saw on my camera when I was going through it, there was like a really nice 8-point. Probably looks like that 8-point right there that I shot in Clinton. I would shoot that one.
Oh yeah.
If he would come by me, I would shoot him. There was a nice 10 came by. There's like a bunch like 8s and 10s are like there's a lot of 8s and 10s that came by.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would probably shoot any of these.
Yeah.
But then like also
I want him.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
you have this once in a lifetime buck, once in a lifetime with quotations around him. Like there's good buck. Like, his genetics are in there.
Oh, 100%. There's no way he hasn't passed genetics to several offspring.
His grandfather or his dad, I have on camera too. That one that has like that old buck that I said about the half rack.
Yeah,
I feel like there's some connection there with how his rack looks compared to how this one's rack looks.
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of genetics in there. And like it's just, man, it's exciting, but yet also it's like, man, I just kind of I get home and I'm like, man, I want to go out again.
Yeah.
I want to go out because I know there's more out there. I know there's more sign out there to find.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love taking a break from whitetail. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, like I know I'm trying to plan a trip up to the cabin in March. Mm-hmm. Right, I know that. And I know that I have quite a handful of cameras that have been sitting since December.
It'd be nice to see what's on them.
I'm like getting like, dude, I want to go because I want to go check these cameras out. I want to go to these. There's other spots where I shot my buck this year. Mm-hmm. I want to go back to that spot. Mm-hmm. I want to go check out at more areas. Mm-hmm. I want to go check those spots. I was like, I want to put cameras out.
Yeah.
I want to do that, and then I want to let them sit.
Yeah.
And then don't touch them.
Yep.
And then come back later. Because like you said, like the big woods, it can be daunting. Like, where do I start?
But then once you find that little nugget, it's like then you can just...
right here.
You can make the spider web then.
Yeah, because I can, off the top of my head, I can think of a few areas that I don't have any cameras that I want to go to. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I could start there.
Yeah.
There's a start.
Yep.
And then let's expand from there. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can get any. I'm just thinking like, I'm trying to get there. This is why I need to get in shape. Because trying to get to some of these spots, like the initial walk-in's not horrible.
No.
But then once they get down to where I need to be and then get out, it's like, you're almost like, I'm not dreading it, but it's like, damn, I got to do this.
Dude, yeah, I was dreading it on Saturday. I was like, I don't want to do this. Yeah. But also, it's like, if I want to be, like, I feel like if you want to be successful, like however you define success, if you want to be that successful when it comes to next season, 2025 season, sometimes you got to do things that your mind is like, I don't want to do this.
You got to suck it up and do it.
Yeah, because once you start doing it, like once you get in and actually do it, you're like, okay, this is worth it.
Yeah, and it just becomes normal at that point.
Yeah.
Like, there was times, I was out, 2 weeks ago? Small game hunting or so. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, I'm on just the main trail that everyone uses to walk. Mm-hmm. And there's snow on the ground, and I'm seeing deer. I know it's all doe, at least it looks like it, but I was sitting there, I was like, oh, shit. There's some deer tracks here.
Yeah.
Where do these go? Like, I was just like, oh, where's this? And then there was private land on my right, Publix on the left. I was like, son of a bitch. And then I look, and funny because in the private, I could see a ladder stand maybe 60 yards off the main trail. Mm-hmm. And there's a trail, it's like right on a freaking deer trail. Mm-hmm. I was like, I see what they did. The deer come from the public, they go to the private, and he's right there. Yep. It makes sense. Yep. So I'm like, let's go this way to the public. But it's just like gets you like, oh, let's go check out some more stuff. Let's do this. And then like I think that's just what I want to do. Like I want to get out, scout, put cameras, and then just forget about them.
Yeah. Find the best sign you can and then just like kind of just like let it go.
Yeah, and then not worry about it. Because I could tell you now, once everything gets green and gets grown, forget about it. Mm-hmm. That's one thing like I did. I'm still going to go out probably like here and there just to maybe. But then again, like even like from the April, May to like July 4th weekend. Yeah. July 4th, like big fat no for me.
It's like you're not going to see any antler growth. You're not going to see really anything. You might see some fawns dropping here and there, but it's also like that could be good intel also. Like to get the cameras out now to let them soak until July so you can see like maybe when that fawn did drop. Mm-hmm. Like it's great knowledge. Like to see, yes, getting buck on camera, seeing when they're daylighting during the season is fantastic. But like if you want to see the rut thing, like see when those fawns drop because then you could backdate it to whenever. I think it's like 200 some days or I forget what it is. Yeah. Exactly. But like you can backdate it and then you can see when like they come in testrus, right? Yeah. So like there's a lot of there's lots of benefits that like for when you shot that buck right there.
I have that date seared in my brain.
Right. So like you can go back, maybe hang a camera near where those beds were, where you find a main trail. Yep. And see where when they drop the does. Or when they drop the fawns.
Because I know there's a trail that connects the one finger to the next. Mm-hmm. There's a trail. That's where he died. Yeah. Was on that trail. That's the only reason I found it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I could put a camera here because I know the deer are using this.
Yeah.
I can go back up and try to find the bedding. Thing is, like, I just guessed there was bedding.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know if there's actually bedding there.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just thick enough.
Because I walked up that drainage.
Yeah.
On that first night when Drew and I were there. Mm-hmm. And there was rubs going up that drainage.
Yeah.
To the top, which in my mind it's like, okay, there's rubs going up here. That means there's going to be something up here, like it's during the rut. So like there was a heavy trail going up too. There's a scrape at the bottom too, like a little scrape. So like even like going down the bottom and finding that scrape, putting something over that scrape. Like even though it's a small scrape, dude, that's how I got in the area with these deer here.
Yeah.
It's like it was like a scrape maybe the size of a tennis ball.
Tiniest little thing.
Little thing. It was like I was walking. I was like, there's just no sign here. Like there's no rubs. There's nothing.
Yep.
It's kind of funny to think about that now, because now I go in there and there's sign galore.
Yeah.
Sign. So that makes in my mind now that I'm thinking about it, maybe does worry me a little bit.
Okay. How so?
Because if there was no sign there at during that time frame, right? Mm-hmm. No rubs really, no scrapes, hard to find them.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, deer migrate, and I'm wondering if they change where they're at, right? Like they're on this side right now. They're in this mile radius, right?
Yeah.
But then come next season, they'll be in this mile radius.
Yeah.
And they'll be laying sign there. So like that, but that could just be me just worrying right now, right? Like it just depends.
Yeah.
It could have been, it could have been because maybe I freshened certain scrapes up that got more up in the area and like, okay, got to go back in here, right? Mm-hmm. Could have been that. But yet again, I don't remember I don't think I really freshened up too many scrapes when I hung all these cameras to begin with.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. It could be just dumb luck where it's like, I found that little scrape, hung a camera there, it went from there, right?
Yeah.
But, like, there's so many connecting pieces. And, like, I think that's, like, what you're saying about, like, you had success there. Now you want to build off that. And the sign that I found, too, that you went and hung cameras over, too, is, like, now you're starting to build that spider web, that foundational spider web, kind of, of, like, scouting and pre-scouting to preseason scouting and postseason scouting to hopefully set you up to be successful in next season. And then like the cool thing is like you could sit in that spot, you could shoot another buck, right?
Yeah.
But then you could be like, okay, I found better sign over here. I'm gonna go sit over here. Mm-hmm. And you can shoot a buck over there. And then you expand your web, like you have overlapping webs then. Yeah. Right? Because then you start overlapping them and you start like expanding even more. And it's just, I don't know, once you have success, like if I didn't shoot that buck 2 miles away from where I had all this knowledge at, I probably wouldn't be scouting the area.
No.
And now I want to scout that area. It's like they were right there. There was 4 buck right there when I shot my 1 buck.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I not want to scout that area?
Exactly. And it's like, as old as he was.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I know people don't hunt that extensively, like archery season. Mm-hmm. Rifle season, this is great. Like, this is just shows you how freaking big the mountains of Pennsylvania are. Mm-hmm. Rifle season, I did not go up there. I did not drive up there once in rifle season, right? Didn't care. I was like, I'm going to try to stay close. I have a doe tag. That's all I had, right? My dad went up. He said he saw there were so many vehicles up there. So many, like 12, 15 vehicles between the parking lot and, they open those gates and then some driving back. Yeah. Well, darn, the one way. Dad didn't go the other way. Mm-hmm. You never do you see a person out in the woods. I have never, even in archery season, there were 3, 4, sometimes 5 vehicles when we were up for rut camp. Yep. Not once did I see a person. And I put on miles during those couple days that I was out actively hunting. Didn't see a freaking person. Yeah. And so it's like, how much of this is untouched? Yeah. And how much of this, how many more, like, I don't want people always say like there's no more hidden gems. There's no, I was like, No, I think there is. Not. It's just because it seems like come rifle season.
Yeah.
Everyone's out in the woods and everyone's walking, so it seems like there isn't. But I guarantee, dude, you go out in archery season.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that. I mean, heck, even rifle, like I said, barely saw anybody up there. There's still hidden gems.
I have been saying. I think I said that for the last year and a half. There's no like honey holes anymore.
That's the word I was using.
So I wouldn't. Okay, so I don't think there's any honey holes because I think people do explore them, like any untouched places. Yeah. I think there are people exploring, but then also in my mind, also, what? Come on,
there's a lot going on up there.
In my mind, like we host a podcast, we have our own podcast, so we see and we talk to a lot of people who put in a lot of time in the woods, right?
Right.
So like in our mind, it's like, oh, everyone's doing this, but in reality, I still think that there's only like 1-2% of people who really put in a lot of time.
Yeah, because you think about it, of all the people we talk to, excuse me, and the amount of work that all these people put in, you would think, you do more scouting than I do. You would think you would run into so many more people.
That's what I thought too.
And you said no one. Really, for the most part.
When I had been out scouting, when I was out scouting all last year, I didn't run into a single person yet.
Yeah.
While out scouting. Like, I ran people walking, but they were hiking, they were walking, whatever. Yeah. But, like, I never ran into someone scouting the same piece I was. And even if someone was scouting the same exact area I was, and I didn't know them, I would want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, okay, this is phenomenal, first of all, because we're both in the same area.
Yeah, this never happens.
Let's like, I know there's first of all, that person probably like, damn it, I know there's a big buck in here and this guy's in here now. Because I'd be saying the same thing in my head too. I'm like, damn it, this guy knows there's something in here.
What do I want to tell him?
But like, it's almost like at that point, you have two options. I feel like when you have that kind of situation, it's like you can either cold shoulder that person and just play your own game.
Yeah.
And just pretend like you didn't see him, right? And just keep hunting your hunt. But then there's that other option where it's like, I want to go talk to this guy. Maybe he doesn't know that there's a big buck in this area.
Yeah.
Or maybe he has another big buck in this area. And maybe we can kind of, exchange numbers, let each other know when we're hunting, where we're hunting at, so then that way we don't ruin each other's hunt. Yeah. Because if I talk to a guy in the same exact area I'm hunting, and he gets the buck that I would love to get, the once-in-a-lifetime buck, that way he can at least text me and be like, hey, I got him down, like, come over and help me.
Yeah.
Because that I would 100% be down for.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like, if he was after the same buck, I would want to text him and be like, hey, I got him down, come help me.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you put in so much work for these amazing creatures, I think the biggest thing, like when you get to put your hands on the buck or the doe or whatever, like let's stick with buck, because doe, I mean, you get excited, but you don't get as excited, right?
No one's targeting a specific doe.
Yeah, no one's like, oh, that doe has a double patch doe. That'd be interesting.
A pieball or something. Or,
yeah, something like that. Something interesting.
That's understandable.
Right. A velvet doe.
True.
That would be pretty cool. Don't know. I think that would be classified as a buck, though. You have to tag as a buck, though.
Yeah, because it's antlered.
Yeah, so you'd have to.
Yeah, but still.
Kind of suck.
That's just a nutless, nutless buck.
But like to have it come together like that, and for that person to be like, okay, I was in the game, right? Like for me, like looking at it, like I was in the game. I was this far off from this buck, right? To still be over to go there and be like, hold this buck in my hands. Like, oh my gosh, like you still feel a connection with that deer, because like through the cameras, through all this stuff, like you're building this connection with this deer. That deer does not know you. That deer hopefully doesn't know that you're around, and that's your hope, but yet you know that deer's around, and you're trying to build this connection, and you're trying to like put the pieces together, like the puzzle piece, like you're putting all these puzzle pieces together. You have, you're missing a few pieces yet, and you're like, oh, I have all the edges, I have everything, I have this, I have a spots inside here and there, but then you're trying to put these last couple pieces together, and then like someone else who you now know gets him down. Like that, you're going to be connected to that person forever.
Absolutely.
And it's, like a friendship's going to grow from that because
Oh yeah.
of that. And I think that's the camaraderie part of hunting.
Yes.
Like I feel like if I would go to the part where I would I be upset if some like, let's be honest, yes, I would be a little upset.
Yeah.
But then also like to know the person who got him down would be better.
Yeah.
Than just some Joe Schmo who was walking through the woods with a rifle and just shoots him, right?
He's lucky.
Right. That had no idea the buck was there. I mean, that happens. That probably happened to me with the 6-point this year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone was chasing that buck per se, but you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Your buck could have been, someone's been chasing that buck for
Yeah, I don't
4
know.
years.
I'm curious. I would love to know, like,
Yeah.
if someone, like, if I go back up, shoot another one, or even obviously him too, like, who up there has history with deer? Because I don't know. I don't even see, now granted, I could have walked past 100 of them and not even realized it. I don't see trail cameras up there.
I didn't see,
I don't run
there was
into-
none up there.
I don't see, because every time, like, if I come, because I still don't come across scrapes and stuff very often. You know, it's just like, oh, here's one. But every time I do, every time I come across sign, the first thought in my mind is, where's the camera?
Yep. That's what I've done multiple times.
I will stand at the scrape, and the first thing I'll do eye level. I'll do a 360, and then my eyes go up to about between 6 to 10 feet up on a tree, and I'll do another 360.
Yep.
I will look everywhere. Every time I've come across sign, I've never seen a camera.
Yep.
That's not, if I would put one down, it's mine, obviously.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, I've never seen a camera on anything. I was like,
Yeah.
either I'm not in the right spots that people don't bother, or no one actually does up there.
Yeah, I think more, like I said, I still think it's at like 1-2% people run a lot of cameras.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a ton of people out there running. Like you can see, like there's a lot of cell cam companies, there's a lot of trail cam companies, but yet I don't think. I mean, you look at, for example, Exodus went out of business, right?
Right.
They had a lot of customers, but yet they still had to go out of business because they weren't making enough money to cover certain things.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think there's people like buying a ton of cameras, right? Like you have a lot of outfitters buying cameras. Obviously, you have people who are running 30 at most cameras. You have people running, the average I think is maybe 5-10 cameras.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think there's, and then I think the big drawback to that is like, oh, they have to go out and check them, or they have to go get more batteries. Like things are getting more expensive, so like people don't want to do it. I just don't think there's a ton of people doing it.
Yeah.
I don't. And it's hard to get your mind into that because like you and I, we talk to people all the time who are doing that.
Yeah, like we're in it.
So like
we know.
We automatically think that everyone we talk to or everyone we know who hunts is doing it the same way. When you look at your dad, my dad, no, they don't have any cameras. They don't. I mean, your dad has maybe 1 or 2 outside the property. Just look at deer that come to when they feed them.
That's
right?
it. Yeah. Whatever cameras he's got are on the property. And that's it.
The one my dad I bought for him, and he doesn't really use it too much. So like, I don't know. I still think like there's not a ton of people putting a lot of time in, putting a lot of miles on, which is fine because that doesn't make you a good, bad, or just a hunter.
Yeah.
Hunting is about going out there and just really enjoying it, trying to put food on the table that we can't buy at a store.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And one thought before we get into these news articles that I had is like when I went out hunting with my dad this year.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because like I was looking at him and I was taken back to like when I would follow him in his footsteps when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like when I step on a twig and he'd be like, pick up your damn feet.
Yep.
And I feel like the roles have 100% been reversed now. Because like I look at my dad and be like, Dad, why don't you pick up your effing feet? Like you're dragging your feet like all the time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the roles 100% reversed now.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So that was my little thing. I just thought that was funny because I thought about that day. I was like, man, like roles have completely been reversed because my dad would look at me when I was a kid and be like, why aren't you picking up your feet?
Yeah.
Like pick up your feet.
Yeah. You've done that to me before.
Oh, dude, yeah, I did. Yeah,
I was behind you, and then I stepped on a twig or I kicked something by accident. I don't know what I did. And you turned around. I was like,
I catch myself doing it too. Like it's like, I think when you get like so caught up in trying to get to your spot, you like kind of forget about that. But then like when you're like trying to sneak around like during rifle, I can be as quiet as a field mouse.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I over exaggerate picking up my foot. Like I'm like,
oh yeah. There's times where like if I step on something and it's a little too much, I'm by myself, and I'll just stop and I'll like freeze. Like, are we good?
Yep.
Okay, I think we're okay. Like I'm waiting for like a dad to come around a tree and be like, "Pick your food up." When I was like,
Just
"Oh
a
shit!"
random dad.
Like, you're just a random dad. Like, "Oh shit, sorry."
I'm gonna text you next time when you're in the woods. Just be like, pick up your feet.
Pick up your feet. Thanks for the reminder.
So we haven't done this in a long ass time.
Oh boy.
But we are gonna do some news articles.
Solid.
Some recent ones as of today, February 20th. So this first one comes from North Penn Now Community News. PA Game Commission votes for November 29th deer season date, but hunters still debate the best date. Once again, this has to do with Monday and Saturday.
I was going to say November.
So the House Game and Fish Committee recently discussed the issue. State Rep Brian Smith advocates for the decision to be made by the legislator rather than the Game Commission. He argued that many hunters prefer the Monday start and that Saturday opening negatively impacts volunteer organizations that rely on the long weekend for fundraising, while proponents of the Saturday start argued to give hunters more flexibility, especially those returning to work on Monday. The final decision is still pending. The Game Commission tentatively approved the Saturday start with a final vote scheduled for April. Meanwhile, House Bill 70, which would set the season start to Monday after Thanksgiving, continues to be reviewed. I do not want to go back to Monday.
No.
I don't think there's... I've seen... I was part of the whole, like, the deer hunter war thing, Saturday versus Monday. There's 2 pages. Like, there's a Saturday group and there's a Monday group. I was in both. And you always see, like, the Saturday guys bash the Monday guys. And, like, the Saturday guys, from what I see, because... One, when you're on a side, even if with Republican, Democrat, when you're on a side, you tend to follow them and you tend to see more stuff from them. It's just how the algorithm works. So I was seeing stuff from them, being like, okay, they went. Apparently, one guy went through all of the followers of the for Monday votes.
Yeah.
Right. Or the page, whoever subscribed to the page or likes the page, follows, whatever.
Yeah.
And they said there was multiple fake accounts on there. So like I don't think there's a ton of hunters that are our age or a little bit older, or a little bit younger that really want the Monday. They want that Saturday.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it wouldn't be. And when they say volunteers, that's not businesses. That's just volunteering like I want to help you with the soup kitchen.
Yeah.
Like fundraiser. Like what does that have to do with opening on Saturday or Monday? It has nothing to do with that.
No.
Like, if you think about it, business is probably doing better than they were when it was Monday opener.
Yeah. I don't know. Just leave it. Give me
Saturday. Yeah, leave it Saturday.
Just leave it alone.
All right, so this one here. This one actually is very, very good for us when it happens. So this one here is from Go Erie. Brian Whipkey, who is a known Pennsylvania outdoor columnist. New program will help PA hunters gain permission to hunt on private lands.
Ooh.
Yes. The Game Commission implementing an optional master hunter certification to connect landowners with ethical hunters. The program aims to address concerns about crop damage caused by deer for more access to private land. Certification will require hunters to have a clean record, complete enhanced training, hunting ethics, safety, and property respect. So we graduated tens of thousands of new hunters, they said, each year for our hunter trapping education course, which that's a lot, tens of thousands. Like that's a lot.
That's a lot.
So how are our numbers so low if that's the case?
Maybe the amount of people getting out of it is still more, or passing away because they're old. Like, I don't know, it could just be how it balances out.
The course will focus on hunting ethics, hunting safety, and safely around residents and respecting property lines. So those are the big concerns with landowners.
Oh, yeah.
They have to go through this program, and they'll be provided in a database. It's a win-win. You harvest more deer from the private property, provide food to their families, and can participate in hunters sharing the harvest and provide food to their communities. Smith is optimistic hunters will be able to take the training yet this calendar year.
Ooh.
Yep. And the cool thing about this is the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau is on board with this. When we talked to the Hush people,
yes,
they said the Farm Bureau was the biggest concern, especially for Sunday.
Especially for Sunday.
Like the fact that the Farm Bureau is actually getting on board with this to have more hunters on PA farms and crop damage is really good.
Absolutely.
Mitchell Couric, local affairs specialist with Pennsylvania Farm Bureau, said about the master hunting program. He said a program like this is something that Bureau wanted legislators to include in the bill that would remove the ban on Sunday hunting. Senate Bill 67 made it to the full House, but didn't come up for a vote in December. A similar proposal is expected this year. So, I mean, that sounds really good because I think the hardest part is as a hunter and as a person is going up to someone's door and pretty much selling yourself. If you're not a salesman, you can't, like, it's hard to sell yourself to someone and be like, hey, can I hunt your property? Like, there's a lot of, I don't know how I would react also if someone came and did that. Like, you're allowing someone on your property with a gun or bow, whatever, to hunt animals. Like, it's, I get it.
Well, yeah, because you got to look at it. I guess this is A, safety. Obviously, you're letting a stranger on, your property with a weapon. 2, liability. Because, I mean, there's ways around it. You sign something, sign a contract and everything. That way it's like, hey, if you hurt yourself on my property, you can't, sue me.
And I think that's something should be included in the Master Hunter program is like, there should be something you sign there, like, okay, nothing falls back on me if something happens on this property.
As the landowner, yeah.
Right. Like, I think that'd be a good idea.
Absolutely.
So this one here, I think all of us have seen it as hunters. Charges filed against 3 Chester County PA men in a huge deer poaching case.
I think I saw this one.
Yep. It was nearly a 2-year investigation by the Pennsylvania Game Commission. 71 charges against 3 Chester County residents, father and his 2 adult sons.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
Who are accused of poaching dozens upon dozens of trophy bucks in Chester and Delaware counties.
Damn.
Carl Nelson, 44 of Downingtown, faced 11 charges, including first-degree misdemeanor, punishable up to 5 years of prison and $10,000 fine. Carl Nelson, the father, who's 70, of Westchester, facing 35 charges, including a first-degree misdemeanor punishable by up to 5 years in prison and $10,000 fine. Mark Nelson of Westchester facing 25 charges, including third-degree felony punishable by up to 7 years in prison and $15,000 fine. I'd like to know what the son did that he got a third-degree felony compared to a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Like, you think the dad would have had the felony, and had more time in prison. You think that, but I mean they took nearly 50 mounts and antler sets, most of them trophy class, were seized from the 3, and this broad investigation remains open to determine whether additional people are involved.
Because you look at the picture here.
Yep.
Obviously people, but for the listeners only, the picture here, there's there's over a dozen.
I mean, you see this too. Like, there's
a dozen like shoulder mounts.
Right. So, like, I think the taxidermist should be also included in this.
Like, looked at least.
Yeah.
Investigated.
Right.
Because there ain't no damn way.
No, they're doing it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Numerous state game wardens and deputy state game wardens were throughout the Game Commission, and the Fish and Boat and the and Chester County detectives were also involved. Just a reminder for everyone: poaching and or other wildlife crimes can be reported to the Game Commission by calling 1-833-PGC-HUNT or 1-833-PGC-WILD, or call Operation Game Thief toll-free hotline at 1-888-PGC-8001. See something? Say something.
Absolutely. It's not snitching if it's against a poacher.
Yep, exactly.
The snitches get stitches does
Yep.
not apply in this situation.
Nope.
We applaud and appraise people that call out poachers.
And this one is DCR names Pennsylvania's 2025 River of the Year.
River of the Year.
Yep, Delaware River, Pennsylvania, 2025 River of the Year.
Nice.
Yep.
What are the requirements for that?
No idea.
Oh.
This is the
We
third
did well.
time that Delaware has earned the River of the Year title. It won title in 2002 and 2011. Delaware River received 2,962 votes out of a total of 8,037 cast. Second place went to the Yogiini River,
Yeah.
2,784 votes, and Perkamene Creek, which I don't think a creek should be involved in River of the Year.
Because then that's Creek of the Year.
That's Creek of the Year. Debatable.
We need it. It's a little sketchy of a...
The River of the Year program is an opportunity to highlight the beauty, history, and ongoing conservation efforts surrounding Pennsylvania's waterway. Delaware River stands out not only for its role in American history, but also for its transformation into a model of ecological restoration and stewardship. In celebration of the title, a River of the Year paddle will be held in June. The Upper Delaware Preservation Coalition, which nominated the Delaware River, will receive a $15,000 leadership grant from DCNR.
Solid.
That's really all it says. Yeah. So
Well, bravo. Now,
this one here,
a very recent and local one.
this one here, and there's a little bit more back in it because I actually got a message after posting. Of course, it was an Amish. So this one here is from what's it from? LNP Lancaster Online. Hunter who killed first black bear in Lancaster County guilty of trespassing illegal hunting. So this was John Stolfus, the hunter who made the first recorded kill of a black bear in Lancaster County, was found guilty of shooting the animal illegally. Coralville District Judge, which I deal with this judge quite a bit, Judge William R. Mencken II, found John Stolfus, 47 of Drummore, Pennsylvania, guilty of trespassing and unlawful taking of a wildlife at a summary trial Thursday. Joel Stolfus testified that there were no signs against trespassing around the area where he entered Constellation Energy property on December 10th. The area is near Peach Bottom, but Stolfus admitted that the area was a locked gate with what he described as a well-worn path along one side that he walked around, and then down the path to get to the area where he shot the 240-pound male bear. Stolfus said he thought the gate was to keep vehicles out.
Well,
That's what happens if you don't drive vehicles. Judge said, I understand your point. It doesn't make it... Oh, wait. Stolfus said, I understand your point. It doesn't make it legal. Macon said before finding Stolfus guilty of the two charges. He also told Stolfus, I wish it had been a good kill for you. The citation carries a fine of $250, and the unlawful taking of wildlife citation carries a fine of $1,000, which it should be a lot more. It doesn't matter if he said, "Oh, I didn't know."
Claims ignorance.
Right? If he, yeah,
at this point, you can't.
You can't. Stolfus declined to say if he would appeal in the county court or otherwise. State Game Warden Daniel Gibble said Stolfus stole the chance of a lifetime from other hunters because he shot the bear while trespassing. Gibble said Constellation property was the most heavily posted property he had ever seen, and that it was reasonably likely that a person would know trespassing was prohibited. So
They tried.
You know, I thought about this. When you walk on public land, like there's certain properties that have like posts like every 25 yards, right? For this guy's Amish, I have a very strong opinion about Amish hunting because of this year, right? Mm-hmm. Terrible encounters with them. I think they have to do a lot of. I think they just have to do a lot more work to be respectable to other hunters, and they don't have any respect for other hunters, clearly. he's clearly lying. If the game commission officer says, "Oh, it was heavily posted," this guy probably just saw one area where it wasn't posted. He was like, "I'm just going to go over here. It doesn't say posted right here. I'm just going to walk through because then I'll never see posted signs when I get in there."
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And here's the thing. The next paragraph.
Yeah.
He's been hunting that property for more than 2 decades. The last quite right there.
Oh, wow. According to the testimony in court, Stolfus has lived within 2 miles of where he shot the bear since he was 13 and has hunted the property for more than 2 decades?
Right?
Right? So it goes deeper than this then. So, like, if he shot this bear, what else did he shoot on this property?
Right.
So...
Can't be the only thing that's been shot.
It cannot.
Illegally.
Why would you keep hunting it if you're not getting anything? So he has more. He shot more than that on this property.
Yeah, not bear, but
bear.
Who knows what else? Deer.
Well, the thing is, with bear, you got to check it in. So you have to check it in. They have got to tell him where you got it. So that's why it's like, okay,
that's the only reason he got caught.
That's the only reason.
So that would have been his first bear. I would assume.
Yeah.
The first bear that's been killed.
Yeah.
There.
So he's probably shot multiple buck on this, multiple
maybe
doe.
Deer. Yep.
On this property. Yeah. Like this guy has to be looked into more.
Yeah.
Gibble, who prosecuted the case and testified, said Stolfus was properly licensed and reported the bear kill the next morning, all within the law. Gibble went to the Stolfus home to inspect the bear as part of the state game law. He asked Stolfus about the kill, and Stolfus went with him to show him the exact area. They did not enter the property from the same place Stolfus did on December 10th, but instead along Norfolk Southern Railroad tracks that run parallel to the Susquehanna River. That was also the route Stolfus took when he dragged the bear out of the woods. When Gibble asked Stolfus if he knew who owned the property, he said he didn't, but he guessed it was neither Norfolk Southern or PECO, a Constellation predecessor. Had been killed on the posted land. He called Constellation Norfolk Southern to see if they wanted to prosecute for trespassing, and they did. So clearly, they don't want people on their property to hunt. We tried to post this very obvious that things had changed from the past, Smith said. Oh, Smith said Constellation put up more than 50 no trespassing signs along Bald Eagle and State Hill roads, along with blaze or purple paint, which is another legal way to post again.
Huh.
After the area was posted, Smith and Gibble testified that they received numerous calls from people either asking if they could still hunt the area or to get permission to retrieve tree stands. So, okay.
So this has not been the first time anyone's hunted this.
Right.
Are people just ignorant?
I think, and it doesn't say who it is, but I feel like if this guy's Amish and he's hunting it, I feel like it's a bunch of his Amish friends and family hunting this property.
Yeah.
To hunt this. Like, that's what I feel. So, I don't know. I think Amish aren't the greatest hunters, and I think they're not good people. That's really what I think. I don't want to put them all in the same boat, but yet I think Amish that hunt are not good. I don't think they hunt correctly. I think they toe that gray area. Like when you look at drives,
yeah.
I think the maximum people you can have in a drive is like 20. I think. I think 20.
Is it 20?
Yeah, 20, including, like, that even includes, like, people who aren't hunting. So, like, but everyone in your hunting group has to have a hunting license to hunt, to do a drive, to be part of a drive. So, like, I know for a fact they go to use a lot more people than 20, 25 when they do drives.
Yeah.
And they just shoot anything. So, like, whoever has tags, they make sure, like, they shoot the number of tags. That's it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who's shooting, but, like, we aren't a party hunting state. A party hunting state is where if you have tags, so say 10 people go out. 6 of those people have tags. All 10 people can shoot at a deer as long as it can fill only the 6 tags.
Yeah.
Like if you went out, you had no doe tag, you had no buck tag, but yet the guy next to you had 1 tag, and you saw a deer, you could shoot it and he could tag it.
Yeah.
But then he would have no tag. But then the guy next to him has a tag. And then he could shoot a deer, and that guy, like, that's called party hunting. So, like, I don't know. I think they try and do that too quite a bit, but I just don't. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of their drives. I'm not a fan of them poaching deer. I'm not a fan of them shooting illegal deer either, of like the spikes, the forkies, and then not reporting it either. Not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Not a fan. I think it hurts our conservation efforts a lot.
Oh, absolutely. It puts a hurt on a lot. It sucks because it's like
first bear in Lancaster County and it's shot. Like, come on.
Because it here's because I like see online on Facebook. Really, it's always Facebook, and people are like bashing the Amish, right, for hunting purposes, right? And then I see people defend like that's not all them. They don't all do this, blah blah blah. And it's like I understand both sides here, but it's like I have yet to hear from anybody a positive story.
Yeah.
Anything positive when it comes to Amish and hunting. I have never heard anyone say anything good.
Nope.
And the several people that I've had conversations with or have just brought it up, which is a shame.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is. Because I after I posted, of course, the screenshot, I got a message saying, can you stop with your Amish things? Not all Amish are bad. And I said, I respect your opinion, but I've had terrible experiences with Amish this year. My parents have had terrible experiences. My friends have had, multiple people have had terrible experiences with them. So until proven otherwise, my mindset's not changing. And he went on to say he was Amish. And like I'm in my head, I'm like, why do you have social media? Why do you're not truly Amish then?
Yeah.
Like so I was like, well, I mean, I said I'm not going to try and change your mind. I have my opinion. Like I said, until proven otherwise, my opinion's not going to change.
Yeah.
And he unfollowed us.
Oh, darn.
So, yeah, we probably lost a listener then too, but it doesn't really bother me because, like, I don't know. Like you said, I've never heard one good thing about the Amish and hunting. Their food's great. Their desserts are fantastic. Like, but hunting wise, I haven't heard one good thing.
Yeah. And again, like I said, it's a shame.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want it to be this way.
Yeah.
I want to hear positive things.
Yep.
But the negative is very overwhelming and prevalent, and that's like you said, until proven otherwise, that's, as far as I'm concerned, the reality of it.
Yeah.
The hunting in Amish is not good.
Yep.
Until I can get proven otherwise, and I will gladly say we were wrong about this group over here. But until that happens, we can't.
Yep. It's just it's sucky to say it. It's sucky to segregating one group of people to say they're just not good for the hunting industry or the hunting community in general. It sucks, but like it's true. Like it's until we're proven otherwise, we cannot. My mindset's not changing.
Right.
Like these Amish, their drives, their mindset of like not pretending to be not knowing. Like Amish are very smart. I deal with them. They're very smart people with money and with everything like this.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you never saw the posted signs.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that because they're bright yellow and there's purple paint.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that. There's a giant fence too. Like what?
Pretty obvious.
If there's a giant fence, I'm like, yeah, there's no posted sign, but I think I'd go in there if there's a giant fence.
I can totally get
that's
in that
locked.
Fence. Yeah. Just
like,
for vehicles.
Yeah.
Good thing for you, I don't drive, so it's fine.
Good thing for you, I use a horse and buggy.
Yeah, I can ride my horse in.
So those are the news articles we have for the day. I think we might do this once or. I like doing it.
Well, yeah. Plus, it's nice. I mean, it is good to stay on top of things.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to news. because a lot of this stuff, even if it's not Pennsylvania related, it still can and does affect us as hunters across the country.
Especially if it's laws or something like that.
Yeah. So it's good to keep everyone, everyone should be, aware of what's going on. It's going to affect you.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not. So it's like, you should educate yourself.
Absolutely.
And know what, what's going on.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for you guys.
Ciao, folks.
Remember to keep hunting.
Keep fishing.
And always enjoy the freaking process. See ya.